Hello, dear friends. Someone asked me how I manage to make the cut every day. The answer lies in the use of no time, as I explained in this article. I hadn't read Colster's book, but I did it by the intuition. Opinion piece. The value of no time. Key to creativity. Essential ingredient for success. Maximizes human potential. There is more mental clarity at night. It's time to be quiet and alone. You can get out of time with meditation. Practiced by Steve Jobs and Albert Einstein. The best ideas come when you do nothing. Corruption hinders the development of countries. Let's start. The key to creativity lies in no time, according to neuroscience. It's a quiet time alone when one is isolated from the noise and demands of the world, a total tranquility that belongs to no one but me. Stephen Kotler, author of the book The Art of the Impossible, recommends that everyone should find a moment in the day to be quiet, alone, to isolate themselves from the noise and demands of the world. All creative people practice this philosophy. For example, Steve Jobs and Albert Einstein practiced the value of no time to be more creative in their daily routine. It's also possible to get out of the prison of time throughout meditation. From science and history, we have learned that organizing the daily routine well is essential for success, but they also agree that we need enough no time in our day-to-day lives, according to a new article in the specialized business magazine Inc., which explains what this idea consists of that some personalities have been able to take advantage of. The urgent concerns of the day have not yet arrived, so there is time for that supreme luxury, patience. Details Kotler, whose no time begins at 4 in the morning, when he starts his morning writing session, and ends at 7:30, when the rest of the world wakes up. Something similar to what I do, because my mind is clearer at night than during the day. According to the author, neuroscience shows that blocks of quiet and unplugged time have a profound effect on our thinking and creativity, while pressure forces the brain to focus on details, activating the left hemisphere and blocking out the bigger picture. In other words, no time helps us relax enough to see the big picture and allow innovative ideas to surface, explains Inc. The magazine also recalls that many incredibly successful people have understood the same truth intuitively. Famous examples include Albert Einstein, who insisted that many of his best ideas occurred to him while he was doing nothing, and Steve Jobs, who was also a famous lacquer. Of course, both geniuses did incredibly hard work to make their ideas a reality. The article qualifies, stressing that no time is not all you need to change the world. However, it is an essential ingredient that one should not overlook when designing your perfect morning routine if you want to be the most creative and successful version of yourself. It concludes. Disconnect or disconnection. Kotler notes that neuroscience shows that blocks of unplugged time have a big influence on creativity. Pressure forces the brain to focus on details, activating the left hemisphere and blocking the big picture. What is worse, when you are under pressure, we tend to be stressed. Rushing makes us upset, which aggravates our mood and makes us concentrate even more. So lack of time can be the kryptonite of creativity, he explained. And as an Inc. magazine article recalled, many successful people have devoted much of their lives to no time. Steve Jobs, the head of Apple, also made the most of hours staring into nothingness. The time Steve Jobs spent procrastinating and mulling over possibilities was time well spent letting more divergent ideas to come to the table, noted psychologist Adam Grant told Business Insider. Still, the lives of Einstein and Jobs show that they too went to great lengths to push their ideas toward concrete consecration. And although it was only part of their daily routine, the no time proved essential. So don't be afraid to take a moment of your day to disconnect, because that's when an unexpected light might come on. On the other hand, according to an article by writer and lecturer Geoffrey James for the specialized business magazine Inc., Jobs didn't know that meditation could cause the brain to age more slowly or even reverse the process of deterioration, but only practiced it because it allowed him to stay calm, and according to the Apple co-founder, it helped him to be a better manager. It is worth remembering that Jobs used mindfulness meditation techniques, which have already been accepted by neuroscience, and some of their beneficial effects are to concentrate for longer periods of time, stay calm when under pressure, and manage stress-related work tasks. Neuroscience. Neuroscience is a field of science that studies the nervous system and all its aspects, such as its structure, function, ontogenetic and phylogenetic development, biochemistry, pharmacology, and pathology, and how its different elements interact, giving rise to the biological basis of cognition and behavior. Neuroscience encompasses a wide range of questions about how the nervous system of humans and other animals are organized, how they develop, and how they function to generate behavior. These questions can be explored using the analytical tools of genetics and genomics, molecular and cell biology, anatomy and physiology of apparatus and systems, behavioral biology and psychology. Abundance. Stephen Kotler is an American author and entrepreneur. His articles have appeared in more than 70 publications. Kotler is well regarded as one of the world's leading experts on supreme human performance, and writes about using other non-ordinary states of consciousness to optimize performance. In 2012, Kotler published his book Abundance, The Future is Better Than You Think, with Peter Diamandis. The book revolves around the idea that the world is getting better, and in the future, most people in the world will have access to clean water, food, energy, healthcare, education, and everything else needed for a first world standard of living, thanks to technological innovation. The authors argue that progress in artificial intelligence, robotics, infinite computing, ubiquitous broadband networks, digital manufacturing, nanomaterials, synthetic biology, and many other growing technologies will enable the human species to make greater gains in the next 2 decades than in the previous 200 years. In doing so, the authors suggest that humans will have the capacity to meet and exceed the basic needs of every man, woman, and child on the planet. Corruption, that's another issue. Countries loses $600 billion a year to fraud, corruption, and money laundering. Countries would finance measures against extreme poverty if they recovered billions of dollars lost to tax fraud, corruption, and money laundering. This highly critical conclusion of the functioning of the dysregulated global economy and financial system was reached in its latest report by a commission of experts called the High-Level Panel of Financial Accountability, Transparency and Integrity International. Up to 2.7% of annual global GDP is accounted for by money laundering operations, while corporations sink tax-free jurisdictions deprive countries of up to $600 billion a year. Illicit financial flows from tax abuse, cross-border corruption, and transnational financial crime divert substantial resources from sustainable development, worsen inequalities, fuel instability, undermine governance, and undermine public trust. Ultimately, the reports find that illicit financial flows contribute to the failure of states to meet their human rights obligations. A corrupt and failed financial system is a system that robs the poor and deprives the entire world of the resources needed to eradicate poverty. The report reveals that a tenth of the world's wealth could be hidden in offshore financial assets, preventing countries from collecting their share of taxes. Short news. Supreme Court rejects Trump's final election appeals. The Supreme Court on Monday resolved the last of 3 cases brought before the justices by the former president challenging his election defeat, putting a quiet end to his quest in the courts to regain power. Angela Merkel's MP resigns over Musk businesses. German MP Nicholas Lobel, a member of Chancellor Angela Merkel's CDU party, will quit parliament and not seek re-election. The reason? A series of deals on face masks that netted Lobel around €250,000. Brent crude oil futures rose above $70 a barrel on Monday for the first time since the health crisis began, while US crude touched its higher level in more than 2 years after reports of attacks on Saudi Arabian facilities. French politician and billionaire Olivier Dassault dies in helicopter crash. Billionaire and French National Assembly deputy Serge Dassault died Sunday at the age of 69 in a helicopter crash in the Calvados department, Normandy, several local media report. Lyon burns for the 3rd night in a row as riots and violence continue. At least 5 people were arrested, 2 cars incinerated, a police car damaged, as well as street furniture and public containers were also destroyed in the 3rd consecutive night of violence in the French city of Lyon, after incidents in the Alaguiniers district on Friday and the Duchère district on Thursday. Violence erupted in the streets of Brown on the outskirts of Lyon on Saturday night, shortly before curfew. 500 injured at least, 15 dead after multiple explosions at military base in Equatorial Guinea's largest city. 4 explosions have rocked a military base in Bata, Equatorial Guinea, killing at least 15 people. Videos show the devastation of fleeing civilians, while local media report that hospitals are overwhelmed with hundreds of wounded. Zombie Apocalypse 2022. What would make 2022 worse than 2021? The answer is simple: a zombie apocalypse. Experts in the field said that Nostradamus predicted a zombie apocalypse for 2022, mentioning the following quatrain. In quotes, "Few young, half dead to begin with, dead out of spite, will make others shine, and in an exalted plate, great evils will occur. Sad concepts will come to harm each one. Temporal dignified, mass to triumph, fathers and mothers dead of infinite pains, women in mourning, the pestilent monstrous, the great to be no more, all the world to end." I'm very sorry for this bad news, but I must inform of everything good and bad. Thanks a lot, dear friends.